everybody. I just got a mitzvah done to me. I was given a yarmulke by our guest today, and Jordan was given a yarmulke as well.
Yes.
And, very special guest. This guy qualifies for Badass Jews for so many reasons. The history of him is entrenched in badassedness, and now he lives that lifestyle. Guys in recovery. He was, as far as I know, aside from Nick Cannon, the only Jew to be on Wildin' Out. Nick Cannon, of course, converted after his 18th baby was accidentally Jewish.
13.
Is that right?
Please welcome Kosha Dillz.
Kosha Dillz.
Yeah. Real name?
So happy to have you on, man.
Rami Evanesh.
Yeah, Rami Evanesh. Born?
New Jersey, Israeli parents, first in Jersey.
Where in Jersey?
Edison.
Wow.
Rough neighborhood, dude.
Well, there's the west side, east side. Backwards, it spells no side.
Yeah.
Edison. A place of no side.
Dude, good to know.
Yeah.
Walk us through what got you into the rap game, which I'm guessing is what kind of started you into show business, right?
Yeah. I would say the first time I rapped, man, it must have been like 14. So we were growing up, like high school wrestling team. My neighbor Dale, we used to listen to the Wu-Tang tapes, you know, like Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links. Wu-Tang was coming out. We were, Edison's about, 25 minutes from Staten Island. So there was some level of like connection. And as like, I would listen to hip hop stuff, like warming up for matches on a Walkman. So I'd have some Biggie Smalls, some Tupac, and Wu-Tang, and then sort of like the rapping navigated in. I had a friend who I played soccer with named Yash. He rapped under the name Yak Balls, and he was like in the Bobito network of like the late 90s. This is like kind of the really like underground hip hop, sort of like MF Doom started performing at the Wetlands in New York City. And there were these rap battles called Bragger Rights, and basically it was like a 32-man rap battle, sort of like what you would think from 8 Mile.
Wow.
Like that. You could smoke in the clubs in New York.
Yeah.
Right. Smoke a weed with your friends in the back of a Honda Civic, and you're rolling, and you're like, I'm gonna get on stage and rap. And somebody didn't show up, and I got an opportunity to go on stage when I was 17 in New York, and that was the first time. New York Poets Club. And that kind of started it all.
Yeah.
And it sort of developed into a place called EO Dub. It's like end of the week. It was like a weekly open mic. And they sort of kind of created like the DJ, the cypher. They had sort of a rap Olympics where you would, freestyle about objects and sort of really sharpen those skills that you see now. That people are like, oh my God, he can rap about anything.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of what everyone was doing.
But when you go on stage for the first time, is there like, I have a natural skill for this, I feel easygoing, or were you just like shitting your pants? Like what, because...
Yeah, I mean, going on stage, I think I still get the thing, I think going on stage now for like over 20 years, I still get this like nervous feeling of you're ready to perform. But that sort of also came from, especially for battles and wrestling, like when you were in a tournament, and I wrestled all the way into college. So when I got to college, I was like in between rap battles and wrestling practice, and you're just kind of going up versus somebody, and you got to win the crowd over.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, at that point, it was more like black, white, and sort of like, oh my God, like Eminem had really just come out. I mean, it was sort of like the astonishment of rapping in like the tri-state area. And sadly, crazy enough to this day, people are like, I can't believe white people rap. Like, it's still like, holy shit.
Yeah.
They don't expect it. But it was just, I don't know, I can't tell you the journey from listening to music to smoking weed with your friends to getting into cypher to getting on stage to getting into rap battles to getting into rap cyphers. And like, how now you would go like, let's just go somewhere and it's a huge comedian and maybe they'll be like, fuck it, you want to get up and do like 5 minutes real quick? Right. And you're like, yeah, I'll fucking go on stage in front of 10,000 people. And I would go on these like adventures with rap and be like, oh, maybe I'll just get pulled into a cypher and we'll travel and something will happen. And that was sort of the world back then. It wasn't what used to be in rap now, I think ironically exists a little bit in comedy, where you could just get pulled up on stage and go and do some time.
Yeah.
And that was sort of how rap was. I mean, I went when I really started doing it.
Yeah.
Like 5 years sober. I remember going on tours and being like showing up at like venues and like hitting production person like North Carolina and like Raleigh and be like, yeah, is there like get like extra 10 minutes to do? You can't really do shit like that anymore.
What was the feedback like then? They'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but then other people, people start getting pissed, and you're like, how the fuck did this guy get,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Did
you
you
were
ever
just
bomb? Did you ever like go on stage like, all right, I have something in my head and I'm gonna freestyle, and you're like, I lost
well,
it.
usually just doing songs, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I've definitely been booed off stage.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God. I think one of the biggest times I got booed off stage was. It was my first paid gig.
Yeah.
Out of jail when I got sober. I think I had under a year sober.
Okay.
Right. And I was at my old school at Rutgers. I went to Rutgers, and
That's changed.
I had. Yeah. I went there, and I'm like, hey, can I open up? And 112 was the headliner. You know, 112
No.
Peaches and cream.
Those
Yeah.
are words.
Yeah, exactly. Peaches and cream was a and everyone wanted them, and I had like a 20-minute set. And all my shit was like underground rap, like yeah, lyrical miracle. They were like, boo, and I was like, fuck you. And they were 112 was selling Polaroids for $25 a pop. That's what I remember from that show.
Yeah. So did you do your full 20?
No, I still got paid. I got paid
Bailed
500.
after what?
10, 12.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
There's 112.
There you go. Peaches and cream, dude.
Peaches
I
and
opened for
cream.
them.
How did I miss that one? I don't know.
$500.
$500
Still
to
got the
open for
money?
112.
Cash?
Check.
So gangster. So
Hilarious.
you get locked up. What was the progression of drugs for you? You start smoking weed at what age?
I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
let's back because you mentioned you got locked up. So how do you go from your freestyling or you do music and now you're?
I got
going
So
on?
I've been arrested 5 times in my life.
Yeah.
Maybe 6.
Okay.
One was a sentencing. So
Okay.
yeah. The first one was on my 18th birthday. I was trying to like make sure my dad didn't find out. By the time I got arrested, my second one, that was 2 years later. That was my big one. That was when I was selling ecstasy, and I just was fucked up on the beach, and I ended up getting arrested. My dad bailed me out, and then that rest of the year was like hardcore drug use, hardcore selling, anything. At that point, it was like I finished the wrestling season. It was like 2 years, and it was like the summer. And by the time I had gotten sentencing for that, like I was like under watch by feds. I was like associating with people that were killing. Like one guy that I worked with supposedly killed somebody in Puerto Rico. So by the time I went, and I'm like, oh, it was my first offense. They're like, no. Like, they're going to put you away on your first offense. And I'm like, and I was like, yeah. I was literally like in the lawyer's office with ecstasy in my pocket, being like, it's so unfair.
Wow.
You know? I was super addicted at that point to that. I was
Are your
20.
folks at the time like, is it culture? Like, because how did they grow up? Is this like culture shock for them? Or
Yeah.
Right.
No one in my family has any issues with drugs. No one's alcoholic. There's no one. My father wasn't sleeping with hookers or shit like that. My mother wasn't like cheating. It was like they met in high school. They married. They came here to work. A hardworking immigrant family.
Right.
My brothers, everyone was straight laced. My
Orthodox, Reform, Conservative?
Israeli, like traditional, I would say. Very Americanized though. I think at my time, my brothers in the military in Israel or the Marines. My brother did military, Israel and Marines. My other brother was like straight strength training and bodybuilding. And then I was like the successful wrestler. And but that 20 to 21, then I go in. I turn 21 in jail. I come out, and then I'm already like back at it. I'm in like 4 days out. I'm already in like an armed robbery.
Where'd they send you for jail? Upstate?
Ocean County. It was in Jersey.
Oh, Jersey.
Yeah.
For how long?
I was sentenced to 9 months.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to do 5 years. I got 9 months.
Jeez.
And then the 9 months you get out in like a parole like in a couple months because you're in your
Good behavior.
Do you find other Jewish people in jail that you kind of like?
A couple.
Hang out with?
First time I ever met a rabbi was in jail.
Oh, really?
I demanded to see it. I was like,
He was locked up.
no, he can't.
Okay.
The Indian guys were.
Yeah. You demanded to see a rabbi.
I demanded because everyone else was seeing a priest.
Yeah.
So
they brought
racial
you a rabbi.
discrimination.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Rabbi comes in. Nice guy.
Can't really help you.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a sweet guy. I remember he was
Yeah.
like a reform rabbi in like Toms River, New Jersey, or something to that. It was just a blurry time. I
Yeah.
don't remember it.
Reform rabbi?
Yeah. But they do have something called the Aleph Institute where like the Orthodox rabbis go and
Right.
everyone goes to visit.
I was wondering, like I always wonder if Jews, kind of like other races, will find their group in prison and just kind of like gang up and chill.
Yeah.
Are there other like
definitely
cool
like
Jews that are locked up?
I was friends with like a lot of, I just feel it was diverse.
Yeah.
At least from what I remember, all the people that were like running around in my little pod. I mean, I was in every pod because I got into a lot of fights.
Yeah.
And I got fucked with, and but I do remember the transgender community, the trans community, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
They were running the show at my shit.
Really? And that's the old school
Wow.
trans community.
Yeah.
So they didn't.
That was when
even-
trans lives did matter.
Yeah. They didn't even look as good back then. They wouldn't trick you. You knew right away.
No, dude.
They were cooler.
Yeah.
And I was
Drugs in prison,
Yeah.
but you stayed sober.
No.
Oh, damn.
No, and every time I drank or did hooch or shit like that, I got into some shit, or
Yeah.
like psychotic, like antipsychosis medicine, like whatever, you're just doing shit.
What kind of drugs? So just so I know, like
You could get other drugs, but mind you, I was only there for a few months,
Yeah.
right? Because I ended up escaping a state sentence, and so I was in this place where people were about to go to prison for like 30 years, and then
Yeah.
other people were there because they got DUIs, and other people were there because no one would bail them out because they're heroin addicts,
Yeah.
and they got caught with like 4 bags of heroin, and they're like, yeah, you'll stay there.
Yeah.
And it is an interesting place where like you're like, well, how did I get a $50,000 bill for having like 15 ecstasy pills, and this guy just put a baseball bat to his girlfriend's head and is here $15,000. But no one could bail him out. But
Yeah.
but like it is kind of interesting
Right.
how the system
Yeah.
is definitely made for you to keep coming back. It is. I mean, I saw that back then. You know what I mean? But
well, they help you and they rehabilitate you, right?
yeah, it's called correctional facility.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who's ever been.
Yeah. Come on.
Everyone that I was there,
do a great
at
job.
least this time when I was turning 21, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it better. And I remember literally asking this one guy. His name was Red. He was a ginger, but he was. I would say he was black.
Yeah.
Like I never would ever say that about anyone.
Yeah.
But he was never. I feel like he was just born in a different body.
Yeah.
He was really like Red was. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna get out and sell weight and do it the right way. And I was like, oh yeah. And that at that time was like, this is my life. This makes sense.
Yeah.
My main goal is to get out and I'm gonna get a girlfriend and I'm just gonna sell drugs and only drink. And
Yeah.
that was like a plan.
Yeah.
We always have these plans. You're like, I'm gonna go to 6 open mics a week and
Yeah.
I'm gonna, what I mean? It was just
Shoot
a different
for
plan.
the stars. At least
Yeah.
you land on the moon, right?
Right.
So by the time I get out,
Yeah.
another year and a half goes by. I'm selling and this. I'm caught, almost caught, and this, that, and I kind of like get my shit together. And then I get a job,
Excuse me.
and I go through a breakup. The girl, like, it's my first ever breakup, and the breakup is like, I'm gonna go to like Vegas with the girl, and then I'm gonna go from Vegas to Sin City, and this is like the last 6 months. It was like
Yeah.
2004. So this is right when OxyContin's like getting it big. It's getting
Yeah.
big. And it's crazy to watch those like OxyContin films like on Hulu. Like there's these movies about it, and I'm like, I remember
Right.
it happening like
Yeah.
at that time, and it just wasn't my thing. And
God.
yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
I do remember like it just getting emotionally, like I hit a physical bottom like when I was like 21, and there was like certain things that were happening when you do a lot of drugs, you stay up, you ecstasy, go like all kinds of horrible like physical stuff to you. And then emotionally, this one I was like, man, I really like hate myself. Like I'm like, I need to get like arrested. I can't like stop. I'm coming to the realization, like I'm staying up for 2 days so I could wake up at like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So I have to stay up till 10 p.m. for 36 hours so I can wake up 12 hours later. 'Cause
Right.
I can't, I'm doing so much blow. So what happened, so I get a job. My dad's like, you got to get a job. And I get a job. I open up the, back then you look in the classified section.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm gonna get a job selling cemetery plots door to door. So my whole thing was like I would sell you like drugs, and then I would also sell you like that was like the whole
Really?
thing. Like a cemetery plots. I
Wow.
would do door to door cemetery
Yeah.
plot sales. Yeah, so that's why.
Looking for a cemetery plot, they'd be like, "No, you want coke?" Was that how it would go?
Yeah, it was. I worked with a doctor, and I
Yeah.
remember, and I was like, "You're interested?" You know, and now it is an amazing thing. I mean, we have to buy our plots. It's the only thing we're guaranteed. Like, you
Yeah.
have to figure out where you're going to be buried at one point, and you
Yeah.
want to. Yeah.
If they do that much blow, they're probably going to be there sooner or later.
Yeah, and I was selling drugs out of the cemetery too.
Oh, this is great. When's the rock bottom kick in? Do you get arrested again, or
Yeah, I'm in a sting operation.
Okay,
Yeah, I guess that.
federal, state?
No, I say yeah.
Okay,
So I'm coming from probation.
Yeah.
Because I'm on probation
Yeah.
now. So I just got out the year and a half ago. I had finished parole, and
I gotta say, but this is fucking fast. I didn't know this about you, and like, this is amazing. I was not.
I
expecting
usually
this.
leave it out of my synagogue talk.
I'm
my keeper.
glad I didn't know this because like this is fucking.
Keep it down.
I'm actually fast. This is amazing. I was not expecting this.
It's also weird for me to kind of, because I'm so disconnected from it.
Yeah.
It's really weird for me because people are like, "What? I don't believe," and you're like, "I don't have to like." It's weird.
Yeah.
To, like, go into it.
And are you the only Jew that's involved in this dealing community?
Yeah, so at this point, I used to drive. So I'm like living in, where we living in Edison? We were in Edison. I was like living out of my home, in my home, and then back home.
Yeah.
Like, it was like in college. It was like there's little spurts where I was out of college
Yeah.
and out of New Brunswick. And I would drive with like 5 pounds of weed in like through Highland Park, and I would be like,
But you keep on.
But they keep on.
Yeah.
And then I would work with all these Indian guys, and I'm like, oh, these Indians will never get caught selling drugs. I'm
Yeah.
selling drugs. I mean, I'm telling you, like, fucking, me and Indian dude, I was like, this is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
it was kind of like a movie shit, right? And then Sopranos was out at the time, so we were also like, this is sort of like my interest into film.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I feel like my life is this movie. And in Sopranos, there's a guy from Rutgers who sells ecstasy who gets killed.
Yeah.
It's like one of the relatives. I don't know. It wasn't a big, huge episode. I don't know, whatever. And at that time, it's like Oz,
Yeah.
Sopranos.
So it's glorifying your lifestyle at the time.
Yes, and that back then we weren't watching on our phones. We were like watching on TV.
Yeah.
And I would buy like Italian gear from like the mall and shit like that. Like, I'm
So you
saying,
look like a real geek back then.
Like the original joke you ever made. I've seen a couple. There's one Jewish comedian in Toronto. His name's slipping, but he's like, I'm Jewish, but I identify as Italian.
Yeah.
and I'm almost like, I really did that. I still
Yeah.
have Versace jeans from like 2000. They're like, and they were like with Timberland, like I was fatter, you know.
Yeah.
So it was just crazy. And then there was
Hilarious.
this black kid, and like I guess I would say I was like pretty like prejudiced, racist back then. Back then we were just making assumptions because my entire crew was Chinese, Puerto Rican, black, Jewish, Persian.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, we're like a little United Nations, you know? But all my like thinking, I was like, oh, the Indian guys will never get caught, and they all got caught.
Yeah.
And the black guy ratted me out, and then I was in school, and I was coming from an exam, and I was set up, and basically I was coming from selling cemetery plots, and I had a massive amount of coke on me, and I didn't want to leave my parents' house, and I was like really tripping. I was staying up a lot, and I was like really praying that I would get arrested.
Yeah.
This like the week before. So
Here's the cops right now.
Yeah. So the guys.
Good sound
So
effects.
I parked the car. And mind you, it's like like a hand-me-down cars. You know, it's still like I have this like Israeli family that's like still like
Yeah.
handing out. There's everyone's hoping for the best. I'm in class. I have like maybe 10 credits left to finish in school. At the time when I first got out of jail, I had about 60 credits. So I came to college with like a Division I athlete. I've left now with like 2 felony convictions. It's like,
Wow.
So I'm running from the
Rutgers,
police.
good ad.
So I'm
Come
running
in a star, leave with felony conviction.
Yeah. I'm running from the police officer, and I came out of school to do the deal,
Yeah.
and then I run back into school. Now, anyone knows if you get in a school zone, it ups your degree from a third degree to a second degree.
Dude.
You're in 500 feet within a school zone
yeah,
or whatever shit. Or it could be like a public beach and this, that. And,
Right.
and I learned that from the last arrest. So I'm running in. I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, I just want to go back to class. I'm like, this is not happening.
Right.
And so I throw my bag. I throw, my car's there. It has drugs in it. I throw the bag. It has coke in it. But I kept the massive amount of drugs in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I had those fucking Italian pants on.
Yeah.
I'm like running in my Italian shoes, my Italian pants. I get tackled. I'm da-da-da. And they thought I threw everything because I launched the stuff. And then I'm in handcuffs. And then I was in handcuffs. I got over like a half ounce of coke popped out of my pocket. And then it dropped on the floor in front of like the entire school.
Oh.
Because everyone just came out to, imagine this, they just came out to watch.
Right, right.
Without phones.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? And someone picked it up. And so I got to discovery. You get a discovery. You're like, what are you charged with? I got 7 charges of evading arrest, resisting arrest, fucking,
Well, you knew you were fucking at that point.
I'm fuck. I literally had come
Yeah.
from like selling cemetery plots, and like I don't know if it was the day before or that day. I came from my probation officer.
Yeah.
And shout out Sean. I wonder what happened to him. I'm like, oh man, I'm totally fucked. My brother's like, you ruined the family, da da da. And I'm in jail. My dad like left me there for a week, and I had like 10 grand in my sock drawer. And my dad's like, how am I my main goal is like, how do I stay out of prison? Mm-hmm. And I'm also like, dude, I'm like relieved. I couldn't breathe out of my nose for like fucking months.
Yeah.
And it just started like, and then I knew I was ready to stay sober because like 10 days in, my parents had dropped off jeans to like a rehab that I went to, and I had coke in it, and I just flushed it.
Jeez.
So I was like, and that was kind of like the last time I was really around drugs, essentially.
Good for you.
And it's been 21 and a half years.
Wow, amazing, man.
So
Time.
the transition happens. Walk me through. The first big break for you is Cannon Show, right?
No.
What happened before that?
Cannon Show was my first big break in my 40s.
Okay.
That was so my plan's always 20 to 40 music, 40 to 60 film. I don't know when that became a thing, but 2009 was my real big break, I would say. Like 2006, I first did like a Jewish event at like a Hallel. I did it with Remedy. He's like he did the song Never Again, the original like song about the Holocaust with Wu-Tang. That was a huge thing. I was on 2008. I did my own tour called the Spare Change Tour. So I got sponsored by Spare Change. And I was like, I just saved up change. If you want to make a donation, that was like my sponsorship.
Yeah.
At this point, I did maybe like one Jewish organization, and I started delving into the world of like, oh, you're Israeli, you're playing like the Israel Independence Day, like events. At that time, there was just more money in like this Jewish kind of funding, I guess you could say. And ironically, Bernie Madoff was still around, like he wasn't arrested yet. So a lot of people he was kind of scamming over were like in the world of like Jewish nonprofit. So I think back then it was like there was no artist. It was just Modest Yahoo, and it was like me like hitting up. I was just emailing everyone. I had one song with Modest Yahoo.
Recently.
I have 3 songs with Modest Yahoo, but I had one song
One
in
dropped like
2006.
a year ago, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have for the one. No, it was like 5 years ago, I'd say, but like I maybe re-uploaded it or something. But he basically was like the biggest thing in the world.
I saw him live in Toronto, and it was fire, man. This was probably 2009.
Yeah, that's
like
like
before he shaved the beard off because he was religious, and then he became
he became that.
Yeah.
That was
I don't know.
He was the Hasidic, hip hop guy.
I don't know what I did with my beard. I don't know. You see, I was probably stressed out. I was picking at my chin.
Dude, you look much better now.
Yeah.
I was a little fat fuck.
You look like a hillbilly there, man.
That was in Tilburg, Holland. Oh my God,
wow.
It was crazy, dude. And
So you were on tour together.
we had this song, Dodging Bullets.
Yeah.
And we shot that shit and basically toured it around Europe. And he was playing like 8,000, 10,000 people.
Yep.
Dude, back then, they had the Palestinian flags at the shows, and people weren't even documented. It was just people in the front row with them, and he was just like, all right, whatever. And we would play these shows, specifically that one. I remember that. And yeah, that was over in Boston, that one on the right.
Yeah.
That was right after 10-7. But like 2009, I won a rap battle at Giant Stadium.
Yeah.
I kind of got like a promotional record deal, like Hot 97 rap battle, and I was whoever wins gets a record deal. Shawnee Culture was like hosting it. He's like on Hot 97 now. I mean, these guys have been there. Peter Rosenberg, that kind of shit. And then 2011, I got NBA 2K. They made me a celebrity rapper in the game with like Snoop Dogg and Drake.
Wow.
So I was in 5 million games, and it was right when I started going bald, and you had to take pictures of all the shit, and that was a big one.
Yeah.
In 2012, I had a Super Bowl commercial with this dude Jesse Shakin. He made this song, Cellular Phone. It was my first music video.
Uh-huh.
And it was kind of like the first thing when you do something like, let's say you drop a joke and then all of a sudden it goes viral like 4 years later. Like, let's say you make a joke about fucking Iran now and there is a nuclear weapon and you're like, I don't know. For some reason it goes. I had a song and then it got used in a commercial 4 years later. #1 song in USA Today, like for commercials, like I get paid, like it was like a 6-figure deal.
Wow.
I was like, I had $150 in my bank account. Like I was on a tour in like a Winnebago, like performing at mountains. I recorded it in a restroom at a rest stop in Colorado. And that was the big one. 2015, I'm on Warped Tour.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's like a deal with CAA. I'm getting paid for the entire summer rapping. I'm like, there's like the nerdcore rapper. There's Machine Gun Kelly, there's like G-Eazy, and then I'm like the Jewish rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like the oddball out kind of punk rock. And 2016, I like guest appeared at Coachella. So with the Kanye shit, I started throwing Passover Seders at Coachella.
Yeah.
That was a little viral shit. And then.
But like in your mind, you're like, okay, cool. I'm this kid from Jersey.
Yep.
I'm someone who's, been in this world of drugs, had to deal with this addiction issue. Mm-hmm. You must be like pinching yourself a little bit, like, all right, what the fuck happened the past 10? I mean, obviously you put yourself out there, but now you're kind of like, getting all this, traction, and in your mind you must be like, this is amazing, or has that not even like,
now I think I just think the way you could tell your story is a little bit different. Like, you see people start maybe comedy or music right now, and you could literally start, and in like a year and a half, people would be like, fuck it, let's make them famous, and it go viral. Right. And then you got someone else and you're like, oh, you've been doing it 25 years, you're OG, and the OG is like, what am I supposed to do? Make content about fucking the time I put ecstasy up my ass on a fucking United Airlines flight? And you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's run that. Yeah, let's clip that,
Yeah,
sure.
Do you want to know the time when I had fucking guns to my head and those guys got and they pistol whipped everyone in the house, and they and my buddy was convicted of this crime or that, that's what we want. Like, we want those stories. And sometimes, like, I don't know, there is some beauty of like not knowing that too, I feel like. And it kind of gets me worked up, because I'm like, everyone's like, well, when I did Wild 'N Out, I had already charted on Billboard. I charted on Billboard in 2016 with Modest Yahoo. I was on tour with 311. I sold CDs. Now I'm charting on Billboard. I moved to New York during the pandemic after living in Israel. I came back during the pandemic. I get arrested for the 4th time at a Black Lives Matter rally. I ran from the police.
Yeah.
And that shit was crazy, because they rounded everyone up, and I was just out because I just didn't want to be in. I wasn't. My brother's like, "Don't fucking post that. You're not an activist. You're an idiot." Like, you're not. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was not one of the white dudes that was like, fuck the police.
Yeah.
I just didn't do it. Also, because no one knew my personal experience. I was like, I'm just lying if I do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I ran from the police. Then while I'm running, here comes the people. They're swarming on you, and then like I ended up. They try to tackle me, then I hit one, then one goes up in the air, then they're fucking dudes with a nightstick, and then I'm like, oh my God. Now everyone's posting these pictures of everyone getting arrested, and I was just like, no, I'm just gonna let it go.
Good.
Yeah.
And then it brings me to the last one where I got attacked, and then I went to jail again, and then that time I'm like, I'm innocent, but I still feel guilty.
Yeah.
That's the crazy shit.
Yeah.
Because you're like, when you're older and you're like in jail, I would say just the other week, you're like, this is not good. It's different now due to the optics of the internet, because the internet just looks at you and they're like, damn, bro, you just got a lot. Like, I'm on trial by what's on Instagram. I'm not on trial by like what I stand for.
Yeah, jail's never good. It's
never good?
No, I mean, I was locked up for a night. That was enough for me to turn everything around. It was one night, and I came out in shackles the next morning. Me and like 10 guys, and I saw my parents looking at me, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do this."
No.
And now it's
Why were you locked up?
breaking into cars.
Oh my
Yeah?
God.
Yeah, and I was the only white guy, and we ran off, went to a McDonald's, and the cops pulled up at the McDonald's, and they came
In Canada?
in Canada, in Toronto, Avenue Road, and they walked up to me and they go, "You're not with these guys, are you?" Like they basically just and I go, "Yeah, that's my crew." And then they took me. I should have
My boys.
lied. And I remember being locked up. You know, they first take you to the station, then they take you to like holding, and I remember, and I was like, I kept thinking, I'm gonna get out of here, like right away. Like, what did I do? I just was breaking in a car, and then they're like, "No, we're holding you because there's been a bunch of house B&Es around." And then they held me, and then they were literally gonna let me go. They were released on his own recognizance, and my dad stands up. My dad's a lawyer. He goes, "No. I want this. I added all this shit." And then I had to go to my grocery store job right after that. No sleep. You don't sleep in jail. You're not getting a good night's sleep.
I'm the one who hasn't been to jail. What the fuck? I feel like a pussy.
should go, dude.
I haven't been.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You need to
crap.
step it up.
I don't know. I'm gonna punch someone tonight.
Well, funny enough, that now, like some of my friends from either my friends from high school and college, they either became cops or criminals.
Yeah.
They said there's a line. You come up here, and some go right, some go left.
Yeah.
Most of my friends went left, but some of them went right, and they were like, "Dude, something you arrest people, but it's like doesn't make sense to arrest people because they just let them out anyway, right away." It's such an odd thing. Back when I was getting arrested originally, you arrest somebody for drugs, they might never get out. No one even bail them out. They just fucking stay there.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you get a bill at the end. Like it costs money to be there.
Wow.
It's an interesting. Everything's different. I can't believe you didn't go to Timmy Hortons.
I used to go to McDonald's, but it wasn't open. The McDonald's was open.
You feel like you're like an adrenaline junkie. I feel like a lot of my friends that were like very like bad kids, like their issue is just they were just hyperactive. So the drugs were very appealing to them, and then doing mischievous things like breaking into cars, like so But like for me, I was always a very chilled kid. Like I wasn't hyperactive. So I don't know. He thinks like
I think wrestling, I guess, was really intense sport. So I mean, there's no other sport where you're 15 and you're making yourself vomit, and then you're like
To make weight.
To make weight,
Right, yeah.
lose 8 pounds and go into saunas and things like that.
Yeah.
There's like these high stakes if you're going to make weight. I mean, people doing headstands to shift half a pound, and
yeah.
Really?
that's all the signs of a lot of crazy, of just not a healthy future.
There's no Retta.
Yeah.
But I guess to answer that, yeah, I mean, I love a thrill, and I think that has translated from that negativity to some of my actions now, like the street performing and how I kind of came up in New York City since 2020.
You would go out with like a little setup and you'd rap in front of Katz's and stuff like that, and outside of MSG.
And some of those antics have got. That's what the rapping outside MSG. My first one was rapping in a blizzard outside like a menorah and Hanukkah in 2020. It was like one of the last blizzards that we had in New York before we had all the snow this year.
Yeah.
And I remember everyone sharing it. I said, "Oh, this is what kind of people want. People love this fucking crazy shit."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, this is perfect for me," because I was street performing in LA, but I was like low key just doing it as a job.
Yeah.
And then I realized, so I started dressing in suits, and then I started rapping in rainstorms, and rapping in rainstorm. Fat Joe joined me, and that there's a spot outside in MSG where like literally every celebrity has like come up to me, Spike Lee, Fat Joe, fucking Offset, Takeoff, R.I.P. He was from the Migos who got killed. I was like dressed as Moses rapping for Takeoff, and then. Those not any of all these videos blew up, but like there's no cooler thing when you're rapping outside and then someone famous comes in, because now they look like heroes if they give you the time of day too. So it's like a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. So you're doing that stuff, and then there's this shift. Like obviously October 7th happens. I feel like there was this kind of seismic shift where you moved more towards your take on not politics, but like as
Say the I word.
an Israeli.
Israel.
Your take is more like, let's talk this through. Let's work this out. Whereas other people, you watch Rappaport or somebody, he's just like, wrong. Like, dude, get some Valtrex on your lip. And I love but it's like you're distracting us with that thing. He needs Valtrex on his lip. I love Rappaport too. But it's like, it's distracting. You know what I mean? You don't have that distracting thing. Does Valtrex still work, Ian?
Yeah, I
on
mean,
your butt?
Who has Valtrex on?
Yeah.
It's gonna be Valcyclovir.
You have
to
this thing where you try and talk shit through, whereas other guys will take like a harder line. So you look at the opposition, like a Dave Smith or something, and he just wants to talk loud and say all this shit, whereas you're very soft-spoken. So I want to show this video that we have of you.
This pissed me off.
It's like, and I was wondering why it pissed him off, because at first you're like, oh, this seems like they're just going to talk this through.
Oh, this is great.
Are you Palestinian? How has your involvement in Palestine, like, over the years developed? Are you Palestinian? Where from? Bethlehem? Okay, cool. I'm Israeli. Yeah. Well, yeah, American Israeli. So where are you from again,
Bro. That shows your age.
He's got the mask on. Reasonable.
Do you think it's fucked up that, like, a lot of the corruption of the Palestinian leadership steals from its people?
That's great.
Yeah, that was a good video.
And then he
tried to kind of swing at me.
He tried to swing at
That was an odd swing.
Yeah, and
He's trying to hit your hat off or something.
Yeah, he was trying to like. Yeah,
But
and
like immediately going to physical. And by the way, this is like Aaron was saying, like, you weren't like, fuck you people, fuck come on, which I would be thinking that, but like you were actually being very reasonable, and you were saying, hey, like, I want a like solution, and let's talk. And
first he was around 4 big ass dudes. He was like, hey, I had a bunch of bigger dudes with him. So I'm not trying to be like, yo, like I'm never looking for a problem,
right?
Unless I'm looking for a problem,
right.
And that was like at the end of the day. I remember that moment because I was like, let's ask these guys, hey man, what's up? And then, the ironic thing is you're Palestinian, you have an American accent.
Yeah.
So, and the story of that guy is that he's the guy who does the PNN shit, and they go around, they harass a lot of people. He kind of got put on Front Street on that one because people are like, man, that guy's an idiot. And then he was like, man, I'm going to go and do stuff. So like these videos, and the reason why I made a film is because this video it doesn't really, I want to speak on it more on a larger level. Mm. Like those videos worked in month 1, month 2, month 3 for people to see it. At this point now, they're like click farms to like sandwich your stuff. Like, for instance, let's just take comedy. Yeah. You got a joke about, let's say you got a joke about bagels. You got a joke about cheating on your ex-wife. You got a joke about online dating. And then you're like, fuck Israel. What's going to get the most? Now, you want to sandwich your other jokes in between your fuck Israel, Palestine thing, and then those are going to get more views, and then you're going to get more. So once that has been shown to the world, every nonprofit organization is like, I want to do videos, because all these videos, I did 10 videos, and it was like I dropped an album. They were bangers after bangers after every 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 6 million. And then everyone's like, and I kind of wanted to add so I added my Bring the Family Home song. And I'm like, all right, like kind of a little funny. Hey, what's going on? I'm just being myself. Yeah. And people are hitting me up like, we want to book you. So I'm like, okay, this is fine. Like, I'm just making videos. Yeah. And this is, I have friends that are in the army. I got friends that have relatives that are kidnapped. So I'm just doing my thing. But now, what does it do? Like, the war's over, but we're still kind of hostage to this new shit. And that's sort of what my film is sort of about. It's like we're hostage to this hostage crisis. Yeah. This is like World Star and Baller Alert are posting about Iran. Yeah. And Iran's making meme videos of Donald Trump as Legos. Yeah. Like, this is the world that we live in. So,
the movie takes how long to get put together?
I go on tour 2024. I go all across America. I'm like, hey, I'll come to every college encampment. Where are you?
Yeah.
And it's cool because anytime like a school gets attacked, I'm like, hey, I'll come perform. And they're like, we want Kosha Dillz. So I kind of started, people are like, we want you to come perform. Because lift the spirits of the students and shit.
Dude, you went to Columbia, like I
went to
going
14,
to the
I went to all,
beast.
yes, and Columbia is nothing in comparison to like DePaul in Chicago.
Right?
That shit looked like the Coachella grounds, but it was like an entire encampment for Palestine, which is fine, but like also it's not. I realize. And
but hold on, what's and if you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. But like, what is your because when you were having that conversation with that guy, that altercation, what you were essentially saying is, yeah, man, I hear what you're saying. Like, I would love for there to be a way. So, like, you're not even and I don't want to speak for you, so I'm asking you. Your position on the whole thing is, if we can all shake hands and live peacefully, awesome, or is it fuck these people? Like, I don't know what your.
My position is a two-person solution before a two-state solution. Meaning, if we can't disagree, sit here and be like, suck a dick, but but I can still get a cup of coffee with you, and that's what I holistically believe in general. I believe that we've lost it as a society, that we can't disagree and still hang out.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be with Democrats and Democrats, Republicans. I don't even know that shit. And it literally has. I mean, the comedy scene's a good thing because it's like it shows you like, oh, it's one of the last places where that sort of goes. And Wild and Out is fun because they make fun of everybody on the show.
Yeah.
But in that situation, I want to, like, the hostages came home. There was a means to an end. I go the place. I go back and do the tour. And now I'm showing the film. So now I have like a 50-minute film. Now the film is done. Bring the family home. Film. I'm gonna start touring it starting in the summer, and we're gonna tour all across America like a comedy rap tour.
Yeah.
But booking out the theaters. I'm gonna have it's gonna be dope. And I didn't take any financial support from organizations because I don't want any of your associations. I wanted it to be authentic.
Good.
Yep.
We show the film at a place called Facets Theater. We rent it out, and there you go. This is awesome. So what happens ultimately is that 3 hours before the film is about to go live and everyone's there, they cancel it, and the film goes viral.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. The film is in Hollywood Reporter now. The film is in NPR.
Yeah.
The film is. No one's even seen the film.
Yeah.
And my dream is to be identified and reviewed for the quality of my art, not for who I am. So meaning people come to my show not because of Israel or Jewish. They'd be like, you know what, you're fucking dope and I want to see you.
Yeah.
Right? And when you get into the world of identity politics, people are like, oh, I mean, listen, you could say fuck Israel on stage, but if your jokes suck, your jokes suck.
Right.
You know what I mean? If your anti-Israel jokes are trash, I'll tell you. And I watch a lot of anti-Israel shit.
Yeah.
So, and I know people that go and they just go viral for it because there's like that's it. It just, that's what it attracts. So once we've got the hack on that, that's it. So now that the film gets canceled, then they uncancel it because of pressure from like the Revenge of the Jewish Motherhood. They got like 80,000 emails from them.
Good
like,
name.
Yeah.
How do I get my mom in that?
Yeah. And ultimately, then they canceled. Then they canceled it again. They said someone that was with me was going to threaten to blow up the building.
Oh wow.
Which totally makes sense. Because one of my fathers probably said that. As maybe it was. Yeah. No, I'm saying that jokingly. And then I'm in Israel. I mean, the film's done, and then the hostages. I'm about to leave and run the Chicago Marathon. Mind you, I've ran a bunch of marathons, run 8 marathons.
Yeah.
That's my new thrill.
Nice.
Coke ever?
Huh?
Never
No,
on
no,
Coke?
sober.
That's your thrill seeker. Going back to that.
I raise money for Holocaust survivors.
Amazing.
Because my fans love that. And,
I love
there's 15,000 Holocaust survivors in New York. Some are living below the poverty line. It's fucking insane. And the hostages come home, and it's like, how can I explain it? You know how Union Square or Times Square is, and everyone's there for like an event?
Yeah.
Like that's what it was at the hostage square in Israel where they have all the rallies.
Yeah.
So I'm there, and 20 hostages, living hostages, are coming home that day.
Yeah.
So it's like a fucking NFL draft for like
Yeah.
humans
Jews. Yeah.
Right.
or Jews. People they have caught like it's like it's still a Jewish event. There's like guys selling bagels out of like a shopping cart, and it's like it's still an event, you know. And you see all these helicopters. So my film is the first film to sort of document the last moment, like the actual hostage release, because there was 70.
So it starts
film
at Bring the Family Home, the song, and then
actually ends with bringing the
coming
family home.
That's amazing.
And then, you know, in the credits, which I'm going to probably add now, is that me getting like, has it changed? Like since the Israel-Gaza war, and this is a legit question to ask you. Israel-Gaza is done, right? Let's just say that part of the war is done. Is it worse or is it better?
It's worse.
Isn't it how?
Yeah, it's the whole world against Israel now.
Right. Yeah. Everyone. I mean, they
Most of it.
say it like Israel has the lowest approval rating in America that it's ever had. You know.
Let's just take Israel out of it. You're just Jewish
That's
person.
what they want to do.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's it. So you take it out of it, right?
Yeah.
Like I just did Subway Seders. You know I do.
I love these
Yeah.
things, and I wanted to come. I had to go to MSG.
Well, I'm
that.
gonna do Subway Shabbat. I'm gonna start doing.
Okay,
Shabbats
I'll
on
come.
Subway.
You want to go?
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
He does it on the
Good.
subway.
Now, if you come, I don't have to hire security.
Yeah, you still need security. Jordan's going to be all tipsy. You serve wine?
And grape juice. You're not.
Yeah,
you
grape juice.
could
Oh, yeah, we can't drink wine in here.
Yeah. So the Subway Seders comes on. There we go. Look at that. That's
You
me
can't drink wine. You're prepping for a show.
I know, but I'm saying. I'm just asking.
Yeah. There's the big brolic Dominican Jew right there to the left, the
Yeah.
black guy.
Oh.
There you go.
Look how happy he is. Jewish people are usually so happy when they're not complaining, huh?
Yeah,
I mean, we're really joyous people.
he's his name's Castro. He's actually like he's a good dude. So the reason why I do Subway Seders is because people are so isolated in like talking about anything Jewish. You're like, I can't deal with your Israel stuff, but they're like eating matzah on the train. You're like,
Yeah.
is that? Let me talk to my manager. Is that okay? Did I
Right.
engage
Yeah.
with this? You're like, okay, dude. Like I saw mad people post about matzo ball soup this week,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I love you, bro. You're a pussy, but like, you know what I'm saying? I love
Yeah.
you, but you're a pussy.
Yeah.
And no disrespect, and that's kind of like what badass Jews is like. You just say the I word, bro. Just say Israel.
Yeah.
Say Palestine. Like you're not gonna get canceled.
Yeah.
Right.
And comedy is sort of the last place where people could be like, you know what, man? Like, you know, Bill Cosby, and you could say these things, and some people get mad. Minnesota, ICE. You make the jokes, and shit, you know, shit could happen, but like people will do it because it's that thrill, that like thing that
Yeah.
you kind of seek, and so the drug is gone,
Yeah.
but it's the punchline. And for me, man, I really like. For me, like Israel's been part of my life. Like I was doing this shit since like 2007, doing weird Jewish shit. I did a Passover Seder at Coachella called Mozzachella, and I performed, and I got to dance with Kanye's dancers and with DMX and fucking everyone, and like, you know, I battled DMX. You know, I was in the BET Cypher. I have songs with RZA and shit, and DMX come up to me at a little yarmulke. He's like, he was fucking shit faced on Hennessy, and he was like, "You rhyme."
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm here with the RZA, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just fucking, I'm like, I
see
can't
Kanye
believe
with the
I'm in a dark alley with DMX, and he's like, you rhyme, spit something. And I'm like, lyrical miracle. And then, you know, sadly, a lot of these guys died because of drugs, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone dies because of drugs.
Do you meet Kanye?
No, but I met Cootie, who did his doc, and I shared him my Kanye diss track, which was a big hit in the Black Israeli
I
community.
saw it.
Do you think when Kanye went to that rabbi, you saw that video?
Oh, Rabbi Pinto.
Yeah,
I know
Rabbi
him,
Pinto.
yeah.
So was that like? I mean, obviously with Rabbi Pinto was being sincere, but what do you think? Do you think the whole thing with Kanye was sincere? Because I saw that, and I'm like, if this is sincere, then it's fucking amazing. That's great, because I do think that Kanye has mental issues, and I think that him acknowledging that. Aaron disagrees with me, I think. Okay. But like, I don't find him to be as egregious as some other people who should know better. I think Kanye has always battled with mental health. So like him just saying things and him going to a rabbi, well, he doesn't have to do anything. He's a rich guy.
Exactly.
Going to a rabbi and basically saying, you know, listen, I'm dealing with this thing. I'm sorry. I said some really bad things. What do you feel about that?
Okay. let's play. Is this called Devil's Advocate?
Yeah.
Let's throw in another
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you're an Olympic athlete.
Sure.
You're a strength trainer. You snatch and clean,
Yeah.
or whatever, deadlift. Okay. You get locked up last year and you get canceled because you test positive for fucking peptides and juice. Okay.
Possible.
But now, now you're like,
We both have urine and condoms. Not pissing bad.
and now you're like, I'm clean. I'm ready to be an Olympic athlete.
Yeah.
And you're like, they're like, and they say, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Let's put you on everything. Let's actually have you as the face of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like wireless.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think? Who's wrong? Are they wrong for putting you on? You know what I'm saying? So it's like he has to just wait it out.
Yeah.
Time heals all wounds. I think that's just something in general. Like, I mean, even people that I meet in the street I don't hold anything against.
Yeah.
I think that Kanye West will eventually, if he's authentic, it'll eventually be. Someone asked me, you just diss Kanye, would you do song? I mean, to be honest, if Kanye was like, hey, man, I need you to open for me because everyone thinks I hate the Jews, I'd be like, let me go there. I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'd be like, if you wear a Kosha Dillz yarmulke, I'll consider it.
I just love his music.
I'll consider it immediately. Thank you,
Yeah.
and I'll be there.
Oh, nice check. All right.
I know.
Where can people see the movie? Where's it dropping?
Yeah.
Do they have to come watch you live? And give us your socials and where everybody can follow you.
Amazing. Man, I thought we were going to go on a big Kanye rant, but I guess we're going to have to save it for next time.
Yep.
Dude, you're awesome. It
Thanks.
could be a
Great.
two-parter.
Okay, it could be a
for sure.
two-parter. Let's well, one, everything on the internet is Kosha Dillz, KOSHADILLZ. My website's koshadillzworld.com. The film, if you want to see a teaser, it's bringthefamilyhome.film. And then I have Bring the Family Home Film on Instagram. So we're ideally going to premiere this summer at a really major Jewish film festival. They're not all Jewish, believe it or not. There's actually Jewish film festivals.
Yeah.
I want your fans to know that.
I know.
And then we're going to tour that through, and we're going to be renting out theaters. So if you got a theater and you want us to bring the film and have comedy, rap, and everything in your theater, I mean, that's what I'm doing this underground. Like, I'm going to show it, along the way, and then we'll eventually release it to streamers. And it's sort of like my comedy special to world. I wanted to make a lighthearted approach to a dark topic.
Good for you.
And being hostage to the hostage crisis so we could all be free from our own bullshit.
Love it, man.
Get off the internet, have conversations, and don't be trash.
Kosha Dillz, everybody.
Thanks, man.
We'll be
Thanks
back
so much.
next week.
Thanks, brother.
Badass Jews. Oh, should I do a rap for you guys?
Do it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna
do
give
it.
me
Do
what
it.
I gotta do?
Badass
What I gotta give a
Jews.
shout
That's
out?
Jew rap, man.
Badass Jews.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's gonna give me the beat?
We're both horrible.
Oh boy.
Ian, give a beat.
You can be.
Ian,
I don't know.
can you drop an instrumental? Oh, perfect.
nice.
Wong.
Okay. Oh, here we go. I'm ready.
It's exciting.
Yeah, you guys getting some sample-free joints right there?
Yeah.
All right, I like it, dude.
Royalty-free.
Let's do it. Here we go. What words do I have to put in?
Badass
Jews.
Jew.
Muscles.
Bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding.
Steroids.
Guns. Steroids, peptides.
Red Tide.
Yeah.
All right.
GLP-1s. Okay.
That's hilarious. How are we looking on
Ooh, yeah, dude.
here we go. Oh wow. You turn it up?
Fix my
Hey.
headphones. Fix my
Everybody-
headphones.
Okay. Best guy, rap moves, shout out, Bad Jews, podcast, God's Wrath, L's don't take it, got that. Hanging my hustle to struggle. Shout out to Big Jews hanging with muscles. Whoa, Dillz on the flow flavor. Big Jews, Subway Seders, talking trash on stage, anti-Semitism. When Aaron roasts your family, he hates your children. Kill the mic, fill it tight, don't cheat on your wife. This is the Mike and the best guy. Shout out to my Jews on peptides. Sorry. Interesting. Thank the crowd. You guys are listening. Okay, yes, it's the best boy. Don't get addicted to steroids. Badass Jews in the ether. Put the movie in a theater. I could say leave it to Beaver. Used to sell drugs and I called up on beepers. Okay, Els, you don't hand me. Deals a microphone, hit him with Granby. Low single, high crotch, understand me. Maya Lansky, okay, the flow grader. Selling drugs out the bodega. Yes, okay, gotta break 'em. Salam alaikum, shalom aleichem. So many flavors I rap on the beat. Bad Juice Podcast, South Tel Aviv. Yeah, gotta help her. Put your bombs out in the shelter. When the cops came, I ran. Drop another bomb on Iran. Hangison is true. Shout out my Jews, straight of Hormuz. That is the mic and my crew. Shout out to do what I do and to do. Your girlfriend's badussy stink like Pepe Le Pew. Okay, Flo, I don't hate you. This relationship's not interracial. I might hit him with a spladle. Okay, yes, I am lit. None of our last names are Robinson or Smith. Usually Steinfeld. Okay, I rhymefeld. Yeah, on Hanukkah, I come through with like 85 pounds of my gelt. Okay, yes, in the plan. Shout out to my Jewish friends who work at the stand. Do what I can. Representing the skills. Pickle in your mouth, Kosha Dillz. Yeah, I rock for y'all. Make you choke on our matzah balls. That's right, in a pro plan. Homie, get with the program. I make you celebrate Zoronica without Zoran. Oh, okay, here we go. Stop.
Awesome, man.
Hey, all right, here we go.
Awesome, bro. That was awesome.
Be back next
so
week,
much.
everybody.
See you guys
Peace.
next week.
Boom.
From iron wombs, our fathers, dust breeze ancient agony. A covenant of ash etched on the souls.